In March 2000, a religious cult gathered over 700 followers in a small Ugandan village. Entire families, including men, women, and children, were drawn in by promises of salvation, miracles, and a prophecy that the world was about to end. Many believed they were witnessing something extraordinary, unaware of the horrors ahead. The cult's church stood quietly as followers arrived. From outside, it looked ordinary, but inside, their devotion was being manipulated. Leaders prepared a sinister plan, deceiving all who trusted them and luring them toward a tragic fate they could never imagine. Inside, men, women, and children prayed together in hope. Suddenly, the doors were sealed from the outside. Confusion spread as they realized they were trapped. The cult leaders moved calmly among their followers, claiming divine authority. Gasoline was secretly poured around the building. The congregation remained unaware that their faith was being twisted into a deadly and irreversible trap. The doors were sealed tightly from the outside. People pushed, pulled, and shouted in desperation. But there was no escape. Outside, the leader's horrifying plan was already unfolding. Moments later, the church was set on fire. Flames spread rapidly across the structure. Thick smoke filled the air, and terrified screams echoed from inside the burning building as panic took over. The fire consumed the church completely. 778 people, including men, women, and children, were trapped inside. What began as a promise of salvation ended in one of the deadliest tragedies in African history. When the flames finally died down, only ruins and ashes remained behind. Smoke drifted into the sky as authorities arrived, struggling to comprehend the full scale and horror of what had just happened. As investigations continued, mass graves were discovered nearby. Some victims had been poisoned before the fire, proving this tragedy had been carefully planned, organized, and deliberately executed with chilling precision and calculated cruelty. Investigators uncovered evidence of manipulation, deceit, and intense psychological control. What was first described publicly as mass suicide was now clearly exposed as a calculated and carefully orchestrated act of cold-blooded murder. Survivors later spoke of fear, confusion, and deep betrayal. They described how blind trust in their leaders slowly turned into a nightmare of panic and chaos, from which hundreds would never escape alive. Some of the cult leaders were never found after the massacre. Today, the abandoned church stands as a silent reminder of the deadliest cult tragedy in African history, a haunting and disturbing story that must never be forgotten.